All right, welcome back, everyone, for the final race here at the Francorchamps. Francorchamps. It's the IRS GT4 Championship. We've got 18 laps plus one formation lap here today. We'll run through the order quickly. We've got on pole position, we've got R1600 Turbo sitting in second place. Second position is Timlor. Moby 45 starting in third. Fourth, we have Gentleman Racing. Fifth, we've got Mo Power. Sixth, we've got Desert Penguin. Seventh, we've got GTP Guido. In eighth, Race Fan. In ninth, we've got Whitey. 10th, we've got Damon. 11th, Kanita. And in 12th, Led. Disclaimer, Led got really impacted here because of an error by the race organizer, yours truly. Led was originally supposed to start. He qualified in 8th, and while setting the grid, the organizer made a huge mistake, put him back in 12th. Big apologies to Led for putting him in that position, and here's hoping that he's able to overcome that. We owe Led a big apology on that. Hopefully he can cut us a break and give us a little forgiveness and return to the series for season 3. It's been great having him. We've seen him battle hard with other drivers, and oh boy, really kind of a bad move on our part. We need to go over the point situation. I know last week I mentioned an overlay and that. We're going to work really hard at putting one up, but right now, sitting in first place in the championship, when you account for at least one drop race, we have Timlor at who's our champion, actually secured it last week, sitting at 153 points. Timlor's in the Corvette. In second, we've got Clean Racer, or Gentleman Racing as he's known, on as his PSN tag, in the McLaren at 112 points, and right behind him in points is Moby 45 with 110. R1600 Turbo also with 100 up there with 108. So you got 3 drivers within 4 points of one another, and they're all in the upper positions on the grid. And then we've got Mo Power with 102 points, and Led also with 102 points. So that mistake by the organizers of putting him back in 12th inadvertently is going to have a huge impact on the points and his finishing position for the end of the season. Very unfortunate. Again, not intentional, and a big apology to Led the Iron. Beyond that, we've got some of the other drivers. Ace Boy, who's not here today, at 80 points. Whitey at 77 points. Base, who's not here today, at 50. Damon at 24. He was a latecomer to the series, but he's held his own. Penguin, also a latecomer to the series, with 19 points. This is accounting for the drop race. And GTP Guido at 17 points. So everybody looking to make a strong finish here today. And in the AM division, we got Kanita at 63, who's gonna looks like he's gonna lock it up today, because Willow, his closest rival, is sitting on 60 points, and he's not here today. Race Fan, 49 points. It's possible that he could draw near and maybe overtake Willow if he could score 12 points or more. And then Drummer, who left us for a while, but now he's back on 27 points. So yeah, a tight race for second place in the Pro division, and Kanita looking to just secure the championship in the Pro-Ams. So coming up to the start. And they're off. Let's see if we can get through Eau Rouge without a problem. No, not Eau Rouge, La Source. Oh, cars get slidey, but everyone makes it through. And here they come on their way to Eau Rouge. Turbo holding on to the lead. Tim Lohr right on his tail. And it looks like we all make it through. Doesn't look like anyone picked up any penalties. Oh, and Tim Lohr alongside Turbo on the racing line. Turbo went defensive, but Tim Lohr breezes by with the power of that Corvette. So Tim Lohr taking the lead. Not even a third of the way through lap 1. Moby hanging close with these two drivers. Yeah, we went over the points, but we got to give you an update also on the ballast situation. Both Tim Lohr and Turbo have got full ballast today. So that's pushing them back, carrying that extra weight, pushing them back to the clutches of Moby, who we know was very aggressive at Suzuka and locking in third place. He's carrying 2% of ballast, and just close behind is Gentleman Racing, who's got only 1 percentage point of ballast, being pursued hotly by Desert Penguin with a strong showing up in 5th. And let's check. Oh, and Led up to 6th place. He makes up 6 positions on lap 1, and while we're happy to see that after the mistake being made and putting him back at 12th, it's unfortunate in the same sense, because had he started 8th, he perhaps would be up there ahead of in that lead pack. Oh, Led, we owe you big time. Big time. I don't even want to say the word anymore. It's getting cliche. Word apologies. He's driving with a purpose. He's got Damon chasing him, and he's looking to and it looks like Moby's secured 2nd now. He's gotten by Turbo, and he's locked in 2nd place. Turbo not showing the usual form here today, but you know what? That's just going to make the racing even more exciting. And we've got Gentleman Racing trying to catch a whiff of the draft so he can get up there with those guys and draw away from Desert Penguin. And let's give Led some screen time here. Looks like he's ghosted there a little bit. Maybe he picked up a little penalty. I don't know. The game's doing some weird stuff sometimes, and it's not showing a penalty. Oh, you know, and all the excitement here, we didn't give you the telemetry. Let's give you the telemetry. Yeah, little penalty, but you know, the red mist has descended. He's very angry at the organizers right now, so he's on a mission. And there's the guy responsible. There's the guy responsible. Shame on you, Gentleman Racing. Anyway, we're up here. Moby's hanging with Tim Lohr. It was difficult to know what to expect coming in here, being that Tim Lohr and Turbo were just so dominant, just repeatedly occupying the top 2 spots of the podium. It was difficult to know what to expect here, because typically this is a track where fast drivers are very fast, and moderate drivers can tend to be inconsistent, can be fast 1 lap and then be off a little bit. But Moby's hanging in there because he's got that Cayman performing really nicely, and he's taking advantage. Oh, and Turbo was taking a look on the outside there. Yeah, the top 3 look like they've settled in. Tim Lohr is on a mission. As we mentioned earlier, he's already secured the championship, and now he's looking for a strong finish. He's had enough of this domination of first place by Turbo. He's here to race today, and the car is just squirming on the way up through Eau Rouge. And Gentleman Racing just can't seem to catch a whip. Oh, Moby going on the inside. Tim Lure doesn't go defensive. Moby makes, oh, and he a little argy-bargy, little contact there. Tim Lure does not want to give up that lead position and fall back into the clutches of Turbo. Heavily defends. And perhaps this will allow Gentleman Racing to reel these guys in. It looks like Gentleman Racing has dropped Desert Penguin back into the clutches of Lead the Iron. This top trio running in the 227s, low 228s, and the low 228 for Gentleman Racing remains to be seen. Oh, he's got a penalty. Remains to be seen if he's going to be able to reel these guys in. Let's go on board with Gentleman Racing. This is not Gentleman Racing. There we have. That was Tim Lure. Sorry, guys. And there you see it. He's carrying that slowdown almost half a second. Breaks much later than the lead pack, which is understandable. They're in a tight pack there. They didn't want to risk any contact. Again, damage is on heavy. Let's go back and see the second pack. Led up to 5th. Strong. He's on a mission. You know. And for our part, that's just hoping he catches Gentleman Racing, gives him a piece of his mind. Tim Lure, Moby, Turbo, holding position. Even through the Kemmel Straight, perhaps some tactics going on. Led's avatar checks the mirror. Sees those guys battling back there. Oh, and here's Mopower. Where did Mopower come from? He was languishing back in 11th place at one point. The Mustang. I wouldn't have suspected the Mustang would have been so strong here. Whoa! Very tight line. Very tight line through No Name Corner. Showing his nose. All in Led's mirrors. What happened to Penguin? Falling back. Led still holding off Mopower. Let's hang with this this battle here. As we've seen in the past, these two drivers not afraid to mix it up. And a wonderful contrast between these two cars and the philosophies. Lightweight, nimble, and the Mustang, high-powered, heavy, some would even say cumbersome. But I'll tell you, Mopower is, through this series we've seen him really develop his skills in driving this car. Whoa, keeps it tight. Mopower ghosts a little bit there. See, it's weird, his ghosting is turned off, and yet it still goes on. Power looking so strong here. Power really being really patient. And they go down the Kemmel Straight. This is where I think we'll see Power immediately to the inside, not allowing Lead to defend. They're about 4 or 5 seconds, if that, off of the lead pack. Oh, and they make some contact again. Ooh. You know, last week we saw them mix it up down the straight going into 130R and got chippy. We'll see. Power looks to really have a strong advantage here. Something about that Mustang with no ballast is just meshing really nicely with the flow of the track here. Oh boy. Sorry guys, I muted myself. And all that talking I did. We saw that phenomenal overtake by Desert Penguin. Sorry guys, I was muted. I maybe worth re-recording, but let's see if I can make up. We saw that great overtake on the Kemmel Straight by Desert Penguin the previous lap. Just overtaking 2 cars down the length of that straight in that Hyundai. And here we have Gentleman Racing's caught up to the lead pack. See if he's able to make a move. Looks like with the draft he's got enough to hang with him, but about making an overtake's a whole other story when there's 3 cars in front of you. Very difficult to predict where people are going to be. And I was talking about it when the mic was muted, but Mopower with a phenomenal drive up to 5th. He was languishing back in 11th place at one point. My apologies on the silence. It's too exciting here, too exciting. We're coming up on about halfway through the race here. Be interesting to see what the different pit stop strategies yield here. Oh, and they're coming up on a back marker, coming up on Drummer. They all get by nicely. He's ghosted. Thankfully, again, ghosting is off, so I don't know what the game is doing, but here we have it. Let's go on board with Moby. See Gentleman Racing there in the mirror. It's looking like right now nobody willing to make a move. We know Moby was up in 2nd at one point. Turbo did get by. We were with yeah, see, everybody very cautious. Could hear this. Could hear that Aston Martin V8. Oh, and look how late Gentleman Racing brakes. Draws right up on the Moby's bumper. Let's stay on board through Eau Rouge. And you can see Gentleman Racing falls back a little bit through Eau Rouge. Just doesn't have the touch through there. But then benefits from the triple draft. Is Turbo looking to make a move? He does not. Turbo goes a little wide. Maybe the aero wash pushed him up just a bit wide, but Moby doesn't see a spot where he can make a move. Again, we're getting about halfway. See who's gonna stop. Let's go back and check on Desert Penguin and the rest of the pack. He hasn't broken clear of Damon and Whitey. Managed to get by them on the Kemmel Straight earlier. Race Fan in 10th. Guido back in 11th. Drummer 12th. Let's get up there with the leaders and see. No, not close to the pits yet. We want to see if anyone's gonna. How many of these 4 drivers will pit? And you see Gentleman Racing is able to. It's very odd that the mid-engine rear-wheel drive car that he can't seem to stay with the pack through the twisty stuff. Oh, Timlor goes defensive. And Turbo pits. And Moby pits. And Timlor and Gentleman Racing stay out. Mopower stays out as well. Mopower up to 3rd after, and not too far back from Gentleman Racing and Timlor. To be honest, what kind of lap times are we getting out of Mo Power? 27 on lap 6 and then low 228s. And Gentleman Racing in the upper 228s and a 229 last lap. Similar with, well, Timlor a bit quicker on a few of those laps. Wow. Impressive drive from Mo Power. Carrying a half-second penalty. Turbo and Moby come out together in 4th and 5th. And then we have Whitey, Damon, Led. Led alone can't benefit from any type of draft. Damon carrying a little penalty, but you know, that'll sort itself out over time. And here's Whitey. Whitey trying to catch a whiff of Moby there. Timlor and Gentleman Racing trying to put as quick a lap as possible. Maybe looking to pit. Timlor is good on fuel, could probably run another few laps. And Gentleman Racing as well. Timlor's got a little bit more fuel. Tires aren't looking too bad for Timlor. Same for Gentleman Racing, a little bit better. Yes, and they both go in. And there's Mo Power. Mo Power as well into the pits. And here's Turbo and Moby heading into the chicane with Whitey in tow. Whitey, who hasn't stopped yet. Probably looking to stop now. Yes, he does. Yeah, Mo Power just getting the car into the pit stall. And as Turbo gets by, Moby gets by in second, and out comes Timlor. There you have it, and Gentleman Racing. So your order is Turbo in first, Moby in second, Timlor in third, just behind Moby, probably going to be able to get a piece of the draft. And Gentleman Racing, we don't think he's going to be able to grab a sniff of that draft whatsoever. The pack has gotten, this lead pack has gotten spread out quite a bit. Let's see how things work out. Led up in 6th. He stopped. Got the benefit of that fuel-saving Cayman. Is able to lock down 6th. A little bit of a ways back to Mo Power, but not too bad. If he can mount a strong push, he may be able to reel Mo Power in. Whitey 7th, Desert Penguin 8th, Damon in 9th. They're very well spread out. Desert Penguin may be able to Desert Penguin may be able to do something about Whitey. May be able to draw him in. You know, who would have thought a Hyundai Genesis giving the Corvette a go, huh? You don't see that on the street. Well, maybe you do, actually. This Hyundai Genesis is nice. Oh, and Whitey's saying hashtag my butter's better. It's a new sponsor there. Did he clear that with the organizers? Hey, it's a finale. Season finale. Have at it. So let's look at the leaders. Turbo. Ooh, and Moby and Timlor side by side into the chicane. Nope, Moby's able to defend it. Start of lap 12 here. Back to fourth, Gentleman Racing. Gentleman Racing's falling back into the clutches of Mo Power. Phenomenal pace on Mo Power's part. That Mustang is just tearing through the Belgian forest here. Look at him go. Let's go on board. And you could just see, like a tractor beam, pulling Gentleman Racing right in. Amazing, really. We'll have to keep an eye on this, see if Mo Power is able to work his way up into fourth. He's got the time, he's got 7 laps, and as you can see, he's just getting closer and closer with every corner, every straightaway. Runs a little wide into the hairpin there. Should be noted, Mo Power doesn't have any ballast on board the car. The car's running the standard GT Sport BOP, and Gentleman Racing's got 1%, equates to about 29 pounds, and that does not in any way explain the pace difference. This is just Mo Power, pure speed here today at Spa. Even the areas where the McLaren would typically be a little more nimble, just it's not coming to pass here. It's just reeling this car in on it, basically every area of the track. Led a ways back. Whitey falling back to lead. Penguin. Damon. Decent gaps between all these cars. Race Fan in 10th. With a good gap back to Guido. And look. Mo Power. Already on the bumper. And then we've got Tim Laura, who gets by Moby. Now Tim Laura in hot pursuit of Turbo. There it is. How will it go down? Gentleman Racing goes defensive. Drifting back out to the natural line. Whoa! Gentleman Racing gets a little, has to put some opposite lock in after going up on the curb pretty hard there. Gentleman Racing goes defensive. And that's going to cost Gentleman Racing time. Going through defensive through that corner is, and it's a catch-22 because he's going to lose a ton of speed down the straight here towards the chicane. Oh, Mo Power just steams by. Just hello, goodbye. Wow. Mo Power with a phenomenal drive. Now he's on the inside. Near flawless race management. And Gentleman Racing pushes the issue. They go side by side through the second half of the chicane. But Mo Power's got the torque here. So if you're going to drag race that McLaren against this Mustang, you're not going to have a good day. And there you have it. Would be foolish. Oh, Gentleman Racing takes a tighter line through La Source. Maybe looking to get back by on the Kemmel Straight if he's able to utilize the draft. Backs off a little bit. Doesn't want to do anything through Eau Rouge. Tucks in. Gets a nice run. Mopar a little bit sloppy there. Oh, picks up the penalty. But look, Gentleman Racing can do nothing. The draft does nothing. That Mustang just punches a huge hole in the air and just draws away at the same time. Almost as if to say, come get me. And then to top it off, he gets squarely through the chicane after running wide on the entry. So Mopar, although he's got the half-second penalty, we'll have to see what he can do the rest of the race. 5 laps left. Meanwhile, up front, Turbo's pulling his usual routine and just drawing away. But Tim Lore's not giving up. He's still pushing. And Moby's right there. About a second off of Tim Lore. Mopar running at a 2:27.2. Fastest lap of the race on lap 12. Can he keep that up and catch the leaders? He ran that 2:27.2. It cost him some time battling with Gentleman Racing, and he's a quarter second up. He's looking to possibly rip into the 2:26s. Meanwhile, we've got the leaders in the 2:27s, 2:28s. Incredible. The Mustang. Yeah, I don't know. Don't drive the Mustang often. Certainly a nice car, great car to have in Group 4, GT4. But I wouldn't have imagined this. Is a phenomenal drive from Mopar, and it's just incredible. He's looking now to catch Moby. Blue flags waving. Ooh, hairy situation there. Drummer just trying to stay out of the way. Kind of compromises. Oh, and he compromises Turbo's trip through Eau Rouge. Yeah, compromises it just enough for Tim Lore to draw back in. Oh, what a development here. And Moby's got to start pressing here because, well, he may not have to start pressing. If these two start battling, he'd draw him right in. But he's got to stay on it. Moby's got to stay on it to try to get as close as he can if these guys start battling. With 4 laps left. About 4.5 laps left. Yeah, we see Turbo was hampered by Drummer there. Certainly wasn't anything intentional, just bad timing on track. Tim Lore trying to close in. Under braking, looks like Tim Lore was able to close the gap that much more. Now right on the bumper, it's going to look to put some pressure on Turbo. Turbo with the least amount of fuel of the leaders here. Yeah, he's well below Moby and Timlor. I know that Mustang's thirsty, but Mopower's looking good. You know, Gentleman Racing may have taken too much fuel. Oh, Timlor! Timlor gets by on the Camel straight. Thank you, drummer, says Timlor. Yeah, and Turbo was held up just enough through Eau Rouge a couple laps back to allow Timlor back in. And Timlor does a great job, makes the most of it. Let's see, these last few laps should be very, very interesting. Moby. Mopower holding steady in 4th. Gentleman Racing in 5th. Led the Iron does well to make up for the organizers' mess up. Huge error. It's locked down 6th, it looks like. Whitey in 7th. Desert Penguin in 8th. Damon in 9th. It's interesting that Hyundai is not kind to its tires. The front tires just look all that more worn compared to the other drivers. Race Fan in 10th, being caught by Guido. See if Guido can draw in. They're on the Camel straight. Guido gets by. Textbook stuff. Both cars. See, Guido's car's got busted headlights. You know, doesn't look like they're carrying damage. Probably did have some. Got repaired in the pit stop. Doesn't look like Race Fan's carrying damage, but he's got a ton of fuel on. Gotta work on that pit strategy, Race Fan. Looks like you might have taken on way too much fuel. Timlor and Turbo still 1st and 2nd. Moby still in 3rd. Good fight here. Oh, that Gas Monkey Viper just looks so awesome. It's a nice livery. Race Fan with the Google livery. Can't miss that Google livery. Very bright, colorful. Can Race Fan get the position back? Let's see what happens here going into the chicane. We really need to get back up to the leaders, but we certainly want to showcase this battle as well. Hopefully we get Guido next season, the full season. He was a latecomer as well. Guido able to hold on through the chicane. So the Pro-Ams typically don't accrue any ballast throughout the season, since they're typically not near the podium, but organizers looking to change that and looking to assign ballast on a per class basis as well. So maybe something that they're going to bring to the drivers to see how they feel about it. Let's get back up to the front. We're interested in seeing where Mopower is, and there he is on Moby, looking to scoop up 3rd place off of him, and it looks like he's going to dispose of Moby in the same fashion that he did at Gentleman Racing. Oh, contact! Oh, no. Yeah, that's kind of a racing incident there. Really, not something that stewards would certainly review it, but never a good idea to go too wide there. And then here we have Turbo, very, very low on fuel. I don't think that's 2 laps worth of fuel there. Timler looking tight as well. Are these guys gonna run out? Oh, Turbo. Everybody's low. Well, Moby's not. Mo Power is. These guys are gonna finish on fumes. I don't know if they'll be able to finish the in lap. Wow, it'd be interesting to see if these guys pit and where they come out. Meanwhile, Moby's staying with Mo Power. See where we got here. Gentleman Racing on his own. Led the iron. And see right there, there's the difference. Had Led started where he was supposed to in 8th, he'd probably be dicing with Gentleman Racing, if not completely overtaking him. Very unfortunate. Apologies again out to Led. Was a great driver all season, race winner, and participated in every event. He did not deserve that kind of treatment. Back up with the leaders here on the penultimate lap. Tim Lord looking comfortable, but it remains to be seen if one or both of these drivers will pit here on the final lap. If they do, they've got Mo Power on a tear. Well, he doesn't have much fuel either. Moby the most of all of the 4 cars. Look at Turbo tucked in. Timler's gonna have to go defensive. Nope, doesn't go defensive. Wants to carry all the speed he can. And there goes Turbo, going into the pits. Turbo into the pits, putting Mo Power, who was running 11th at one point in this race in the early laps, up to 2nd. On what a drive. Unbelievable, phenomenal drive. Moby now on the podium. Where will Turbo come out? Comes out just ahead of Gentleman Racing. Can Gentleman Racing take advantage of this? On the final lap, can he draw near? Pick up 4th position? Oh, does he have it? Is he close enough to get into the draft? He does. Turbo goes defensive. Oh, and Gentleman Racing goes along the outside. Gentleman Racing up into 4th. On the final lap. Thanks to a miscalculation of fuel. But we know Turbo's not gonna let that slide. They go side by side through the... Oh, and he gets a little shove. Oh, almost ended in tragedy there. Let's get up to the leader. Timler looking like he's gonna finish the lap strong in the lead. Mo Power in a very secure 2nd place. Again, amazing drive by Mo Power. Moby in 3rd. Turbo, after being passed by Gentleman Racing when coming out of the pits, gets back by. These guys are battling. Oh, and now Gentleman Racing. Hoping to catch a piece of that draft. We saw it was ineffective against the Mustang on the Camel Straight. So see here. Let's go up to the... And your winner, Timler, Mo Power is 2nd, Moby in 3rd. And into the chicane for 4th. Who will it be? Oh, side by side. It's a drag race. And it looks like it's gonna be... Oh, Turbo by a car length. 5th, Gentleman Racing. 6th, led the iron. Makes up 6 positions from his starting point on the grid. Should never have had to do that. Driver of the day, led the iron. Whitey, 7th. Looks like Desert Penguin in 8th. Damon in 9th. Guido in 10th. There's your finishing order. A fantastic race. Just as good as we anticipated, if not better. Congrats to the champion, Tim Lore. Congratulations on finishing the season strong. Great job by Mo Power in the 2nd place finish. And a phenomenal job by Led to make up 6 positions after really just getting kind of shafted at the start. So driver of the day, it's going to be a tie between Mo Power and Led. Well done, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us through the championship. And by all means, come back for Season 3. Slated to start sometime in late January. We'd love to have you as a viewer. There's your champion, Tim Lore.